Closed captioning provided by Beaufort County.
Welcome to another edition of Coastline, and today we are on the road. We are on the Palmetto Breeze Trolley in Hilton Head, and what a delight this is. It's a beautiful warm day outside, and the air conditioner is on here in the trolley, and I'm joined by Lou Franzoni, who is the Executive Director of what is formerly known or officially known as the Lowcountry Regional Transportation Authority, but now has branded itself with a number of breezes. There is the Palmetto Breeze, which covers a 5-county regional area, and there is the Breeze, which is the trolley system that we are on. Soon there will be a Bluffton Breeze, and we're going to talk to her about that. And also for people who are disabled, there is the Easy Breeze. So Mary Lou, it's so good to have you on Coastline today, and it's exciting to see this beautiful coach that we're driving in. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to be the executive director, and what is going on as far as the Breeze system is concerned.
Well, it's my pleasure. There's nothing I like to talk about more than the Breeze trolleys and the system and public transportation in this area. And I came in 2014, and at that time belonged to the First Transit, a management company. But since then, I now work directly for the authority. And as far as how the trolleys came about, in 2017, we received our first urban grant from the Federal Transit Administration. And part of what Hilton Head did is they had a circle-to-circle committee that made recommendations to alleviate the traffic. And part of that study talked about using trolleys to help get cars off the road. And so with that, we ran with that and worked with Hilton Head, Town of Hilton Head, and the Federal Transit Administration to get the money to purchase these trolleys, and then went out on the market to see what was out there. And we fell in love with the hometown trolley, and just really love the way this trolley came together. And this is our 4th year running, and we have 4 trolleys, and we run 3 of them at a time. And we're seeing the ridership, a really nice ridership this year with our additional route, the route that goes up on Folly Field Road.
Yeah, so you've got 2 different routes on Hilton Head. One is a half-hour route, and the other is an hour route. Is that my understanding?
Yes, the other one, it takes an hour to complete the route, but the trolley comes every half hour because there's 2 trolleys on that route.
Oh, okay.
So on any part of the system, services every 30 minutes.
Gotcha. And these are, as you said, really nice coaches, trolleys. And just to give our viewers an idea, it's all wood inlaid, and how many does it seat?
I think they seat like about 25 people.
That's great, and it's air conditioned, as I said. I read somewhere that there may even be Wi-Fi service on here.
There is Wi-Fi on all the buses, and so no password needed. You can get right on your Wi-Fi if that's what you want to do. And we also have bike racks. So if you rented a bicycle and it's really hot out, which happened to me when I rented a bicycle, because it gets hot, and you can get on the trolley and put your bike on. And
yeah, I was really impressed as I came up to the trolley from the prior half hour and saw the driver helping somebody put their bike on the front rack there, and I thought that was service above and beyond.
I would like to think the whole experience is service above and beyond. We've worked hard to make this a very premium service, and the drivers have gone through ambassador training, and the drivers that are driving for us on the trolley really exemplify customer service and being friendly and just helping people get around Hilton Head.
Okay, we picked up this particular trolley at Shelter Cove, and where can I anticipate, I feel like I'm being shanghaied here, where can I anticipate going?
Well, this is the MidIsland Route, and it goes to the Westin. And It also, as it goes up Follyfield Road, it serves probably several thousand different villas and timeshares and residence places. And in that way, we believe that we're going to play a very integral part in getting cars off the road.
Yeah.
We noticed it a lot at the Westin that people are coming right out and getting on to go to Shelter Cove, to go to the restaurants. And so that's all, for each couple that gets on or each person that gets on, that's one more car that is not out on the already overcrowded summer traffic volume.
You talked about the ambassador service that you instill in your drivers, and as I understand, anybody that asks a driver, he's more than happy to give suggestions for places to eat or places to shop, right?
Yes, absolutely. And there also help if there's a wheelchair passenger or an elderly passenger, or as you said, help with getting the bicycles on and off. They're here to help everybody enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's really kind of a neat feature of this trolley. You mentioned before we started filming that the unit can actually kneel down, and then if the person is still unable to get on at that point, then a ramp will extend out so you can accommodate people that are in wheelchairs, right?
That's correct. And someone wouldn't even have to be in a wheelchair. If they just have trouble lifting their legs up or, just aren't very mobile, they can request the ramp. We'll put it right out, and it makes it very much easier to get on the trolley.
So this is going on a circular route that runs 30 minutes, this particular bus. And I see we're passing a number of condominiums. If I wanted to say stop at the condominium up here at the corner, would I just pull the little ripcord here?
Yes. If you pull the cord, the driver will stop at the next stop that has a sign.
All right. And then if you also mentioned, if there is a opportunity for a right lane where he can pull over, somebody can actually flag the trolley down, right?
Yes, and the right turn lane is particularly on William Hilton. The 278, it's just the traffic's moving too fast to stop in the two lanes. But if there's a right turn lane, folks can flag the trolley down or be dropped off. On this road, which isn't so busy, if someone did want to flag the trolley, the driver will stop for them.
All right. Now, normally there would be a charge for this, but last year we had this little thing called the pandemic, and part of the pandemic outpouring included the CARES Act, and you were able to get some funds that are underwriting the trolley system for this year?
Correct. We were able to get funds that didn't need to be matched, and normally we charge the fare to help make the grant able to pay for all of the services. And so with the CARES Act funding, we have the ability to offer this service at fare free.
And then the year before, you actually had some funding from the town of Hilton Head.
Yes, we did. The town of Hilton had prepaid all the fares.
That's great. So far for the last 2 years, nobody's had to pay anything for the trolley service here, and maybe they'll step up again next year. But normally, if they wouldn't have underwritten it, what would it cost to take the trolley?
It was $1 a ride.
Very, very minimal anyway. So that's not much, and that's a great service that you're providing. Somebody has just gotten on here, and they're getting all settled in. Now, you and I, because we're on camera, and I speak for myself, I've been vaccinated, we're not wearing masks, but normally we would be required to wear masks.
Yes.
On Hilton Head.
And you're required to wear masks in all of the transit vehicles, and that is a federal requirement. And all of our buses have masks available, and the trolleys have hand sanitizer as well. And so you are required to wear a mask on the trolley.
Okay, well, I won't tell anybody if you don't. We'll be okay. So it's really exciting to see what's going on, but this is only one of a myriad of services that fall under the umbrella of the old Lowcountry Regional Transit Authority. You also have the quote-unquote Palmetto Breeze, which allows various workers to go back and forth from, well, you tell me about where your various stops are.
We have 7 routes, and they go out into 5 counties, and we go as far north as Walterboro. We go to Allendale, and we are in Hampton County. And as the buses come in, they go through Jasper County, Hardeeville, on 170, and we both pick up and drop off folks coming from those counties to jobs. And jobs in Bluffton, jobs in Hilton Head, jobs along 170. Just wherever people need to go. And if somebody calls us and says, hey, I want to use your bus, and do you stop here? And it's somewhere that is close to where we go, we will actually adjust the route so that we can get people to work. And we make it work. If someone needs our buses to go to work, we figure out if we can help them out.
I was shocked to see on your schedule that you start as early as 4:30 in the morning out on St. Helena Island, and that you will go as late as 7:30 in the evening, if not later, right?
That's correct. And the drivers fire their buses up at about 4 a.m. and they begin picking people up. And they are in Bluffton at our facility at around 6:30, 6:45. And they have everyone to their jobs by about 7:30 every morning at the latest.
Now, those buses are not trolleys. They are more, they're not the big old coaches that I remember from the old LRTA days. Are they the big old coaches? Okay, then I haven't seen them, but I've seen a lot of Palmetto Breeze, like mini buses out and about. So you still do have the large coaches.
We do. Those are MCI buses. We just got 3 new ones last fall. They seat 49 people. They're similar to a Greyhound bus. They're very comfortable for commuters. And what you're seeing are all of our cutaway fleet. And with those, we do a demand response service in Beaufort, and we also do what we call coordinated transportation. If folks need a ride somewhere, I would recommend that they call our office and see if we have a bus out at that time and location, we can fit you into our schedule.
It seems very accommodating. You're going to give Uber and Lyft a run for their money, it sounds like.
Well, that would be great.
Well, this is terrific. And now we're at the Westin, and do we stay here for a minute or two while people embark?
It depends on the schedule, and there was no one to get on or off.
Okay.
And it was only a 2-minute pause here, I think, and I think we used that 2 minutes up.
Okay.
So we're heading right back.
And now we're heading back from whence we came, going back to
Shelter Cove.
the Shelter Cove area there. And I really wasn't paying attention what we passed along the way that might be of interest to some tourists here, but give me some points of interest that...
Well, I would say when you come up this route, because of the beautiful vegetation and all of the scenery that you see, and when it's different things are flowering, it's beautiful flowers and trees, it really is a vacation paradise.
Yeah, I know. I think looking at Alec, he's freaking out because of the change in light that occurs from the dark over, abundance of nice flora and whatnot, to the point where we get back out on 278 and it's all bright. But this is just an amazing event. And part of your planning included a study that you did back in 2020, and you used some local talent to give some input to your plan, including John Rembolt, who is the director of the Airport Authority. What was his involvement in your master plan going forward?
I think we drew in all of the different transportation modes just to see how we could interface. And I think as the airport continues to bring in more people with the extended runway and the additional airlines flying in, that there's going to come a time that we are serving the airport with our transit buses.
So you're not hitting it now?
No, we're not.
Okay. All right.
But I can see that there will be a time that somebody could fly into Hilton Head, get on a bus or a trolley, go to where they're going, and never have to rent a car.
Yeah. So the other thing that falls under your purview is, and I love the story you told about how you came up with the name, the Easy Breeze. Tell us about that.
Well, we have an ADA paratransit service, and And we wanted a distinct name for it, but it had to fit in with the breeze. And my marketing person and I were debating what was a good name for it. And I happened to be riding behind the vehicle, and I looked up and I said, oh, there it is, Easy Breeze, because breeze it's right in the name. And it was just a light went off, and so that's called the Easy Breeze.
And that accommodates people with disabilities that need rides to doctors and the like?
It's rides to anywhere, really. And the big thing is if they can't utilize this particular bus for whatever reason, they would fill out an application, and it gets signed off on by a doctor, and then they become a customer, and because this is free, that's free. So we pick them up and they can go grocery shopping, they can go to the doctor, they can go visit a friend. We don't really ask what they're doing.
Now, you historically had been getting rural grants, but something happened in the not too recent past that allowed you to get some urban grants. Tell us about that.
So it all started with the census in 2010, and once the census came out, the Hilton Head Bluffton area was deemed a small urbanized area. So there were a lot of steps to us getting our first Federal Transit Administration urbanized area grant, which we got in 2017. But they had to form an MPO, a Metropolitan Planning Organization, with all of the local leaders. We had to do a long-range transportation plan. And so there was a lot of work that went in ahead of time. And LRTA had to do a lot of work as far as showing that we had different plans and all kinds of things that were required to become a Federal Transit Administration grantee.
As you fall under a larger umbrella of the Lowcountry Council of Governments, and I looked and saw that there's probably at least 20 advisors that make up that area and probably gave some input into all of the requirements that were necessary.
Well, they are. The LCOG acts as our planning arm. We do not have any transit planners or a planning department at LRTA. And so the Lowcountry Council of Governments, they do all of our planning work for us. And so yes, they have been very instrumental in the planning needs.
All right. So this is where we are now, and we are going to be looking at expanding into Bluffton. Tell me about those plans.
Yes, Bluffton's part of the urbanized area as well, and we developed a route, two routes that are going to start July 1st. And the focus of those routes was really connecting people from the apartments and high-density residential areas to all the job sites in Bluffton. So those routes will serve the Bluffton Parkway, the Sam's and Walmart, the medical building on Buck Island, out to Buckwalter, the regional park there, the new Washington Square, Berkeley Place, and we'll also go to the Vineyard, which is assisted living at the very end, and that's our turnaround, and we'll come back.
Okay. Does it go as far as Sun City?
It does not.
Okay. Is that ever in the works?
I don't know. I've had conversations with Sun City, and it's not probably in the near future, but I think that any time that we can get people into transit vehicles and out of cars, and it's something we want to be doing.
So other metropolitan areas, and it's so funny, first time that I moved here was in 1983, and to call it a metropolitan area now just blows my mind, but looking at the traffic, it certainly is. Other metropolitan areas have typically a park and ride situation. You've got some of that in your system.
Yeah, pretty
right?
Unofficial park and rides, and that would be one of the things in our future plans that we would like a park and ride in Bluffton, somewhere close to 278. And part of our future plans would be to have a connector bus that goes over the bridge and brings people to Hilton Head and connects with, we call it a flex route, but more of an on-demand service over here, so we can lessen the traffic on that bridge as well. And that is really the future. And, I can't help but take an opportunity to address this. What we really need in this area to have a robust transit system and all the things that we can envision, we need dedicated funding. We need some sort of a source of funding that's a transportation fund that allows us to apply for more grants, because all the money we get is the grants all have to have match money. And so for about a $4 million budget, we need about 800,000 or 900,000. So it's a great return on your dollar. But in order to grow and to really provide all the services that we can envision, we need to come up with a way to have a dedicated funding source.
So
it could be sales tax, it could be property tax, it could be, there's different ways to do it, road use taxes. And it's just, I think we'll get to that point in time where the community really wants and needs more transit services. And then that time will come that those funds will be passed.
Well, you seem to be a real go-getter. You've been online here since 2017, and back, way before you even were probably even born, the LRTA had kind of a bad reputation in Beaufort County back in the 1990s, and it was floundering, and financially it seems to be doing much better. And I wouldn't be surprised if you've already been in talks with some municipal authorities about how they might include you in their yearly funding. Have you?
Absolutely. I go around to all our funding partners every year and show them what we're spending and how much of what percentage is from their county, and ask for that local match every year. I've also proposed that perhaps they would like to do a countywide road use fee, which would allow, through the use of paying some additional road use tax with your car registration. That could be dedicated to as a transportation fund. They do that in the Myrtle Beach area. And it would be a way to have funds that we know we can plan to use and have a long-range plan that's funded. And that really is the future of growing transportation in this area.
Do you get any matching funds or any assistance from any of the hotels?
In different ways we do. We get some sponsorship from some hotels that are sponsoring routes, and that goes a long way. And I know some of the hotels buy the tickets for the passengers, which is great. Doesn't really help us, but it's great. And all the local governments that are getting transportation services are contributing local match money towards the running of the service.
Having just finished paying my taxes, I know that South Carolina also allows, right at the end of as you're going through the whole thing, you can then designate some monies to everything from South Carolina Wildlife and Fisheries to you name it. Maybe you ought to see about getting on one of their little check boxes.
You know, I thought I had thought of everything, but I have not thought of that. So I'm going to put that in my new ideas for funding category.
Good deal. And as any good executive director and lobbyist, you're probably also engaging with folks up at the state capitol in Columbia, right?
Well, we don't do any lobbying. We're really pretty small for that, but I do go to SCDOT, and they know that any opportunity they have for funding or lapsing funds, that they need somebody to apply for the grants. When they offer those, I'm the first one in the door. And we just applied for 3 more MCI buses. So we're hoping to get that from SCDOT.
How about the employment situation here? We were talking before we started taping that oftentimes you'll be at employee fairs, job fairs. Tell us about your success, challenges in getting some of these ambassador quality drivers and other employees.
Well, I will tell you that we are no different than anyone else in this area. We struggle to get employees, and we're very discerning about who drives the buses and can interact with the passengers. So it seems like we're always hiring, and we're hiring now, and we're hiring for the Bluffton routes, and we put a lot of ads out and word of mouth, and so we have the same struggle as everyone else.
Yeah, I'm curious these days when there's such a splinter in ways to advertise, and people are going away from printed medium. Where are you advertising most these days?
We advertise everywhere that we can put an ad, and we do have actually a quarter-page ad out right now in print media. We advertise on Facebook, Indeed, Career Builder, Marketplace, pretty much everywhere. I haven't put signs in the buses yet, but we also do a referral program with our own employees, get incentives if they can refer somebody.
Yeah. Oh, that's another way to make money. Have you put banners on the side of buses allowing people to advertise on there?
Well, we do, except not the trolleys.
Okay.
And we just don't want to ruin it with advertising all over it. And we sell ads in the buses.
It is a beautiful trolley, and believe it or not, we're back at Shelter Cove. So if it's a half-hour ride, that must mean we are near the end of our taping. And so Mary Lou Franzoni, Executive Director of The Breeze, who is an arm of the Lowcountry Regional Transit Authority, thank you so much for your delightful ride. It was free for me, and it's free for you guys for the rest of the year anyway, courtesy of grants that have been given by the federal government and a little input the prior year from the town of Hilton Head, and we'll just see where it goes. And that is our show, and we hope you'll join us again for another edition of Coastline on the County Channel next month.
The County Channel is also available on video on demand. Go to BeaufortCountySC.gov, scroll down to Public Meetings, click Watch Now, and then click the Video on Demand button and select your program from the list.
Call the meeting to order.
If you'd like a DVD of this program, click on the link on the right and fill out the order form. And thank you for watching the County Channel.
Got a quarter?
I'm Sarah Brock, Clerk to Council for Beaufort County Council. Did you know Beaufort County has 29 active boards and commissions? These boards and commissions serve a vital role in Beaufort County and allow citizens like you to get involved with local government and advise your council members on a wide range of issues. Members serve in a variety of capacities, from advising council regarding the selling and purchasing of land, hearing appeals, allocating ATAX monies, advocating for specific organizations, working on stormwater-related issues, zoning issues, design review, historical preservation, you name it. Visit www.beaufortcountysc.gov/council/boards and commissions today to see a list of our active boards and commissions and fill out an application. Sign up today so you can have a hand in making our community even greater than it already is.